I'm recording this episode before school because we had a 2-hour delay. And I was like, you know what? I might as well take advantage of this time and record a podcast because it's been a while since I posted my first one. I don't know how long exactly, maybe like 2 weeks. Maybe it's just been a week. I don't know, but it feels like a while. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about relationships and all that good stuff because this is something I actually have a lot to say about. I don't know if I'm going to articulate my words correctly in this video, but I'm going to try. So we're obviously going to start with the verse of the day. And I'm going to be reading from Proverbs 31, verses 20 through 30. So, it's kind of a lot. And I don't know what it is, but I cannot read on camera. Like, I don't know. So, just bear with me. Oh, and this is basically explaining what a good wife is. So, that's why I chose this verse because, I don't know, I just feel like it relates. You need to be a good wife or a good girlfriend to have a, well, that's just one of the factors in a good relationship, obviously. So this is biblically what a good wife looks like. She opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy. When it snows, she has no fear for her household, for all of them are clothed in scarlet. And I'm going to be honest, I did not know what it meant. I did not know what it meant to be clothed in scarlet, so I looked it up, and that's just like a metaphor for Jesus's blood. Okay, continuing. She makes coverings for her bed. She is clothed in fine linen and purple. Wait, I'm not even talking into the mic. Her husband is respected at the city gate, where he takes his seat among the elders of the land. I don't know if I'm reading fast or if I'm like slurring my words together. Anyways, we're gonna keep going because I don't have a lot of time, to be honest. Okay, where was I? Okay, verse 24. She makes linen garments and sells them, and supplies the merchants with sashes. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. She speaks with wisdom. Oh, Lord. She speaks with wisdom, and her faithful instruction is on her tongue. She watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. I think that's the word. Her children arise and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Okay. Honor her for all that her hands have done, and let her works bring praise to the city gate. That is a Proverbs 31 woman. And that's what we should all strive to be. But I wrote down like 3 things that stood out to me from what I just read. And the first one, which I already talked about, clothing scarlet, it's a metaphor. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. I feel like this is very important. Like, you can't just go around saying anything. You can't. And the last one that I wrote down is, charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Like, yes, we all worry about our physical appearance, but it shouldn't be like our main priority, because a lot of people say if you're ugly on the inside, it's going to show on the outside, and I feel like that's basically the same thing as what I just read. Like you could be the prettiest teenager ever, but as you get older, that may fade away. That may fade away. But if you're a good person throughout your whole life, then that's going to show. Hope that makes sense. But this isn't gonna be like a very structured podcast, or kind of. Like, I wrote down some points, but I'm mainly just gonna be talking off of my head. I'm gonna try. And I notice when I talk, I think it's because I think I said this in the last podcast. I don't know. I can't remember. I've made so many but deleted them. But I think because I've been recording YouTube videos for so long, when I'm talking, I kind of just zone out to like think, and I'm like sitting there for like a good 30 seconds staring off into space thinking. So I have to break out of that habit. So I'm kind of just going to be talking and talking and talking, or trying to. I mean, I know I can talk, but I'm gonna try not to take as many pauses. So a lot of people say relationships, hold on, how do I describe this? A lot of people are comparing relationships from this generation to past generations, which I feel like will be an ongoing thing. But like, people say, oh, I want the 90s love, I want the 80s love, yada yada yada. But truth be told, there has been toxic relationships since I don't know how long, since forever. Like, this is nothing new. Like, the way people are acting today, I feel like it's nothing new. Yes, the gender roles are kind of being switched around a little bit, but I think besides that, it's pretty much the same. The biggest difference that I've noticed is that people are quicker to leave relationships. And this isn't all the time, because some people, they get like stuck, but I feel like back in the day, first of all, people got married like really young, and they kind of just, I guess they kind of just go through a lot, and they just stay with each other. Like, the husband could cheat like 3 times and have 2 kids out of wedlock. Wait, is that the right word, wedlock? I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say. But the husband and the wife would still stay together. And I feel like, obviously that still happens today, but I feel like people are quicker to leave. Like, at the slightest red flag, people are like more encouraged to leave. And I think that's the biggest difference. Which, I don't know if it's a good or bad thing. I personally feel like, it's a good thing. Because if someone doesn't meet your standards all the way, or they do something that like really, really, really hurts your feelings, you should be able to leave. You shouldn't have to stay if you don't want to. And I don't know, I just feel like back in the day, you kind of felt stuck. Like, marriage kind of felt like a trap. And some people still feel like marriage is a trap. I honestly don't. Like, I was talking about this topic with a friend the other day, and like, we were just sharing our perspective on marriage and stuff like that. And honestly, I feel like I won't say I'm completely ready for marriage, but like, I want to, because obviously I'm 16. Like, what am I talking about? But I know in the future I want to get married, and a lot of people, they don't have that vision for themselves, which is fine. To each their own. But I feel like a lot of people in this generation are saying that they don't want to be married. They don't see marriage for them in the future because they're scared of commitment. Hold on, I'm trying to look at my notes to try to see what I said about this. Oh, they're scared to be vulnerable. They're scared of, I need to get my words together. They're scared to be vulnerable. They're scared of commitment because, I don't know, people just lack emotional intelligence today. Which, again, is nothing new, but, I mean, I can only talk about what I've experienced in this generation. And honestly, I'm starting to get in the mindset where you should never regret, like, the love you give out, even if the person doesn't reciprocate it. Or, and you should always just speak your mind. Like, I feel like this is where a lot of things go wrong, because people don't know how to communicate clearly. I'm talking too fast. I need to slow down. I've just stuttered like 25 times. But people don't know how to communicate clearly. If people would just say how they really felt, then a lot of stuff could be avoided. Like, a lot of things. And in order to like, people my age, they just don't believe in long-lasting relationships. Like, what happened to date and to marry? Like, I solely believe in that. I believe you should date to marry. Don't shoot me. But, like, if you don't see that person in your future, why waste your time with them? Why waste their time? And if you don't see that person in your future, you should tell them, at least. You may be thinking, that's so stupid. Why would I tell the person I want to be with right now that I don't see them in my future? Because what if they don't want to waste their time? That, a lot of time is being wasted, I feel like. A lot of my time has been wasted, personally. And people like me, like, I would rather be left alone than kind of be like strung alone, you know? Because once I like someone, I like someone. Like, really, really, really like someone. And if that person doesn't feel the same way, I would rather just be left alone, because I'm fine with being by myself. I know how to be alone. And that is something else. People, before you get in a relationship, alone lasts the one at that. You have to spend some time alone. You have to get to know yourself. You can't be jumping from person to person because you can't be alone. Because, like, who is that serving really? And what are you going to bring to the relationship if you don't even know yourself? Like, in a relationship, you're supposed to introduce people. And, hold on. In a relationship, you're supposed to reduce. In a relationship, you're supposed to introduce your significant other to different things. Like, hobbies that you like. Or maybe, like, different cultural things. And if you don't know what you like yourself, or if you don't know, like, yourself in general, you can't do that. Now the relationship is going to be boring. So just spend some time with yourself. If you find yourself jumping from person to person and you just don't feel happy, take that as a hint to just be by yourself. If you're that type of person, make it a goal to stay single for a whole year. No talking stages, no situationships, nothing. Lord, speaking of talking stages and situationships, that will be the death of this generation, I swear. Like, I am honestly so tired of it. Okay, I want y'all to let me know, how long do you think a talking stage should be? Because honestly, I've seen some people say a talking stage shouldn't be longer than a month. I kind of disagree. But it shouldn't be 6 months. It shouldn't be a year. Like, why? If you, I feel like after 2 months and a half, 3 months, you should know if you want to be with that person or not. And if you don't, tell them. Stop wasting time. And don't just, like, try to hold on to it because you want to be with that person. If after, like, 3 months, you don't see that person in your future, tell them, please, please, please. Because there's no reason we should be having 6-month long situationships or talking stages. Also, what is a talking stage? I feel like this is also something new for this generation. Maybe not. Maybe they had like a different term for it back in the day. But a talking stage is not asking, like, it's not texting me what you're doing every 5 minutes. I have a story for y'all. I have a story. I'm not going to get, like, way into it, but basically this boy, he just kept asking me, what you doing every single day. Like, no ability to hold an actual conversation. None at all. And then I eventually just stopped responding because I'm like, if you're not going to text me with a purpose, don't text me at all. Like, I'm not finna be answering what you're doing every day and you not stem a conversation from it. Honestly, if someone texts me what you're doing, I'm just not going to respond anymore. That's a lie. I probably will because I'm too nice, but, like, don't expect a relationship from me. But, what was I saying? Oh, basically, so after I stopped responding to that boy, like a few days later, not a few days, it's been like a week or two after, I don't even know if I should say this. Basically, he thought that was like a talking stage, and I said, we were never talking. What are you talking about? And he got mad at me. But like, it wasn't a talking stage. A talking stage is when you get to know someone, not ask what you're doing every 5 minutes. And I feel like a lot of people can agree with me on that. Can we please abolish sassy men? Because honestly, that's the problem. That is the problem. Like, if you're in a straight relationship, let's keep the gender roles, please. Like, I'm honestly, I'm about to like go back to the olden days. Let's go back to gender roles if you're in a straight relationship. I only have like 10 more minutes to be talking. What else do I have down on here? The way you grow up obviously plays a factor in like how you'll treat your partner in the future. And I feel like you should have some grace with that. You shouldn't have too much grace. Like, you shouldn't like continue making excuses for someone. But if you see someone has a toxic way of viewing relationships or just love in general, then I feel like it's okay to like teach them a little bit, but you shouldn't be a teacher 24/7. Like, you can correct them one time, maybe 2 times, then the third time, oh well. Like, just really stick to your standards. Wait, where was I going with that? But that's like something important too. Stick to your standards. If you haven't written down a standards list in like your journal or your notes app, do it. Do it. And don't write down the basic things like can communicate. I'm not gonna lie, that's on my list too. But actually, let me go to my list. Like, what's a really basic one? Like, I know something I wrote down on my list was that they hold doors open for me, because I feel like people don't do that anymore. I don't know. That should be something like very basic though. I don't know. I can't think of anything, but don't write down like the really, really basic things like obviously they should be doing. Be creative and then actually stick to that list. I'm talking to myself too. But what was I saying? Oh, the way you grow up like really plays an effect on like whether you want to get married or not, and yada yada yada. My parents were never married. They weren't even together. Still not together. What am I talking about? But growing up, I had other marriages in my family to look up to. Like my aunt, my uncle. Wait, my aunts and my uncles, and my grandparents. And obviously, no marriage is perfect, but I don't know. Just seeing how they work. But at the same time, there's like some small things from each marriage that I would not want in my future marriage. But then there's like some big things in each marriage that I would love to have in my marriage in the future. But if you grew up like having no role model, if you grew up not seeing any happily married couples around you, then obviously that's going to play a big part. But I feel like once you get older and you meet your person, that may change. And did you know some people aren't even meant to be married? That's somewhere in the Bible. I haven't read that yet, but I've heard it. And I'm like, what? Like, that could be me? Please no. Please no. Like, that's honestly something I really, really look forward to in the future. Getting married and having my own family. Fun fact about me, if you didn't know. But yeah, that's really all I have to say. There's really nothing else for me to say. I don't even know if I like came across a point in this video. But to summarize what I said, before you get in a relationship, you really need to work on yourself and spend time alone. We need to work on being more vulnerable and just expressing ourselves better. Like, I have no regrets about how I felt towards a person, or not what I've said, or basically the love that I've given a person. I have no regrets, even though people are so weird. Okay, am I on the third one? Basically, another thing, a big reason why obviously you have to keep God in the center of your relationship. Yeah, just keep God in the center. I'm gonna leave it at that. Because a lot of people need to always keep God in the center of your relationship, and that's how it's gonna thrive. Okay, that's really all I have to say for real now. Thank you for listening to the second episode of the Mike and Me podcast. Make sure you go listen to the first one if you haven't already. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one.